Let's start off with the bronzer, since that's the last swatches that I showed for you. So again, the pressed powder bronzer from Colourpop. This is 7 grams worth of product. And again, I picked up the shade Bits and Pieces. I could tell from the swatches that were on the Insta story from the brand with the employees that Bits and Pieces was going to be the bronzer that I was naturally going to gravitate towards. It's a warm red based bronzer. I am wearing the bronzer in this video. So what I did is I applied it to my cheekbones, just in the areas that I normally would bronze. When I was filming the swatch inserts, as I was applying this bronzer to my cheeks, the blush that already is in my collection that really we're talking neck and neck with this bronzer, and it is one that I did recently review on the channel, and it's by Becca, and it's their Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Maui Nights. Maui Nights is a bronzer that is another warm based red bronzer. I wouldn't consider Maui Nights by Becca to be a dupe, like a 100% dupe for Colourpop's Bits and Pieces, only because Maui Nights has a flecks of gold in it. It's very subtle. It's a satin finish, but it's a subtle gold effects. There is no gold mixed in with this powder. Once applied, once you blend out Bits and Pieces, the finish is a satin finish. So you have just a slight sheen to it. It's very subtle, but it does warm up the cheekbones, and I feel it looks very nice. Now moving on to the No Filter concealer. I picked up 3 shades. I picked one that would be lighter to use for under my eyes, and then one for my skin tone, and then I also picked up the deepest shade, which was, well, deep as far as for my warm undertone, 70 deep. And for that, I just wanted to see how it would look on my skin as well. Not to contour, I just was curious as far as how it would look on me. Packaging wise, standard wand concealer. Now I did notice that with Tan 50, there was a spring kick up from the top lid. So as I opened it, it kind of sprung out. Like how I talked about the Kevyn Aucoin lip toppers, it had that suction motion, but the other 2 shades, 60 and 70, I didn't experience that at all. I don't know why, but 50 has that spring action. However, there's nothing that's collecting at the top of the container, nothing that I feel is going to spill out. Wand applicator for you to apply your concealer. This is the same applicator style as the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, as well as the L'Oreal Pro Glow Concealer. So exact same one. If you already have those 2 concealers, you should feel comfortable using this particular wand. I did not notice any type of detectable scent in this product. I also did not experience any of the shades oxidizing on my skin, and I wanted to address that real quick because I have noticed in other review videos that I've watched, as well as just comments in general, that a lot of people are experiencing that the color change is changing on them. Once the oxygen is hitting the product, hitting the ingredients, as well as my own skin oils, that is going to determine how this is going to change as far as on each individual's skin color. I have been using these concealers every day since I have received them, so I definitely wanted to try it in various methods, and that's how I'm going to break it out for you, because I feel with this particular product that it's going to work in certain situations, and other situations it didn't work good at all. So I definitely want to make sure that I address those. With 50 Tan, I was also checking with different concealers in my existing collection just to see if any shades would match up. I did not have a dupe shade for Tan 50. Again, this is the shade that I picked up as an under eye brightener. With 60 Golden, this is marketed as a warm golden olive skin tone, and I have to agree that Colourpop nailed it. This shade is the exact color of my skin. It's as if Colourpop went, oh, let's take a little slice off of you, and we will put it in a applicator. Now the closest shade that I found in my existing collection was the Tarte Shape Tape that I do use in the shade Deep. That was the closest. Once they both dried down, it was pretty close. I have a picture that I took in the kitchen, and it was just by accident because I had all of the shades swatched here. When I do it kind of on my palm and go down into my wrist, I can really see undertones. You can see that hint of green. So the description that's on the website for Colourpop, they nailed it. It is perfect for Deep Golden 60. So if you are medium dark, NW43, warm undertone, golden, olive, just like me, Deep 60 would be the perfect match for you. Now 70 Deep is deeper, but only slightly deeper on me. It also has it runs more neutral is what I noticed. You can definitely see the undertone when it is against the other two shades on my neck. I feel I'm gonna get the most use out of 50 and 60, so 70 I'm just gonna pass on to a family member. Now I want to talk about the different ways that I've been testing this concealer and really break it down. The first way that I did it is I did it with no foundation. Now that we're also kind of transitioning it back into the no makeup look. What was that? Oh, I think I hear the glamour girls go, no makeup. Don't worry, it teeter-totters back and forth. Glamour will be back in. I filmed it on one occasion with, let me put foundation on one side underneath my eyes and kind of bring it out, so I show it like that. On the other side, I have no foundation on. So if you are an individual or consumer that doesn't wear any foundation, okay, you're not going to have any foundation underneath your eyes. So let's see how the concealer is going to wear and work and blend out if you have no foundation on. So what I discovered from that method is the tool is going to come into play. With no foundation, and I apply the concealer under my eyes, blending it out with a damp sponge was quite difficult. It's difficult in the sense is it's tugging on the skin. I have like just my primer water that I spray on, and I can just have a very thin layer of a primer on as well, but still there's nothing, no foundation, nothing for that concealer to really stick to. And that's really because this concealer, it dries fast, but it has a matte finish. So it needs something to kind of, attach itself to. So as I'm trying to blend it out with the sponge, no, it's gathering. I can see it real close up in the magnifying mirror, and there's like almost like little gaps where it's blended, and then there's like a little tiny piece that's not. So it looks patchy, it's what I'm trying to say. Now on the side with foundation on, it blends just as good as any other concealer with a beauty blender, but also with a brush is what I noticed. And of course, the second method is more the traditional route where we're putting on our foundation, and then let's see how the concealer works with our foundation. Same experiences that I've been seeing every time I have been using it, whether I'm using it with blending it out with the sponge, whether I'm blending it out with the brush, with foundation underneath, something for it to kind of cling to. It is drying fast, and it is drying to a matte finish. I feel that the texture for this concealer, just the overall finish of it, I feel personally, I prefer to use it with a brush. I feel that I can get just that skin-like flawless appearance that I'm looking for. Now when it comes to actually setting the concealer, I've used loose powder, I've used pressed powder, meaning with a smaller brush, pressed powder, and then setting the concealer that way. Every powder I have used, loose or pressed, has set the concealer fine underneath my eyes. Another huge factor, what I've been noticing as far as the feedback from others, has been creasing. This is another area that is going to be personal. And it is. And you'll probably get quite tired of me saying that, but it is. We all have different lines underneath our eyes, but everybody's lifestyle and their routines are different. I drink an insane amount of water. I use an insane amount of skincare products. It's always kind of, you know, hydrated and plump underneath there. So I do have lines, but to be honest, most concealers do not crease underneath my eyes, excuse me, because I really take care of that under eye area. And I always use eye cream, whether or not you believe in that. It's just part of my lifestyle. So what might work for me in that regards, you might take it and be obviously different lifestyle, different lines under your eyes and so forth, and then you might experience increasing. So again, my experience has been with this concealer throughout the day. Nothing has caked up. Nothing has been so apparent under my eyes where I'm just like, wow, that's pretty bad. No, I haven't experienced that. So the no filter concealers worked well on me. I didn't experience strong creasing. They wore fine throughout the day. They covered what I felt I needed to cover. And I do like the wand. I really do like to stipple on my concealer that way. And I don't believe I mentioned this, but you also don't need a lot of product. I feel you don't need a lot of product. I feel if you put a lot of concealer on, you are going to experience not only creasing, but you're going to get that caked appearance, because this texture is like the middleman. It's thick, but it's not like thick. So I feel a little bit like with Shape Tape. You don't need a lot, just little dots, and spread it out and you're good to go. So overall, I am pleased with both of my products, my bronzer in bits and pieces, that wonderful red base bronzer that I love, and then of course the no filter concealer by Colourpop. If you have your hands on any of this, please leave some comments. I love interacting with you guys down in the comments. I don't seem to get much comments, so come on, let's interact. Don't be shy. You can reach out to me down there. You can reach out to me via social media, via the handles, and I would love, again, to interact with you. So thank you very much for stopping by and watching. Please remember to like this video and subscribe on your way out. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.